Yeah.
I was thinking,
I'll call McLaughlin.
go ahead and turn on.
This meeting is being recorded.
Great. So the warning about the recording for all those that don't know it already is that it's both a visual and an auditory record will be made of anything you say. And if you don't want the visual portion to be present, then you simply need either call in or turn the video off. A copy of this meeting will be posted on our website for another day. And then I did work with the city to see that our website will be continued on. And I'll talk more with you about that in a minute. So,
John.
Welcome, John.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we have 4 of us. We've got a super majority of sorts.
Frank, I left a message on McLaughlin's phone.
Yeah.
That's all I could do.
I don't think I've ever gotten him on the phone. He's principled that way. So if you don't want your likeness to be recorded or anything in your environment, turn off the video. Our mission is the same as it's always been, as I said, which is to ensure the entirety of the property is protected in perpetuity and public ownership with respect to its ecological, recreational, and educational functions, and to serve as a fiscal intermediary to pay it off as we already have. So I'd like to call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum of 4 members. John McLaughlin, we don't know if he's going to be here, but hopefully if he joins us, somebody will let me know and we can recognize that in our minutes. There is an agenda available. If people have had a chance to look at it, I'd like a motion to approve today's agenda.
I motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Needs error. What?
Did I hear a second to approve the agenda? Or do people still want another minute to look at it?
I'll second.
BD seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. There we go. I think we have a vote in favor of adopting the agenda as written. We do have a relatively new person here. I did want to take just a minute. Luke is here today representing Bob. Bob is on a much deserved break. And Luke, thank you very much for coming.
Delighted to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Luke. We also have Robin, our trusted secretary that actually runs the place. Yeah. And of course, Barbara Zylstra and Vincent, who are our long stalwarts in making this thing actually work. I don't see anybody else, so that's who's here. That's who they are. And I did speak earlier this afternoon about 2 o'clock with Nicole, who said she would be joining us too. So I expect her to show up eventually. And we did, I think, get most of the things resolved. I would just note, Robin, she did say that we could coordinate on turning over the keys to the website tonight, either in real time or after the meeting. And her intention was to have to continue to hire the person that currently manages it, I believe is Jim, right? Robin?
Sorry, I'm doing 3 things at once here. It's John King, and she was talking about handing over the keys to the website tonight. I'm not quite sure what.
Yeah, what she said was that they would continue to pay for the existing website until they got an opportunity to change it over, and that would probably be sometime towards the end of this year, I think.
And did you ask them about all our other documents that I'm trying to talk to IT about? Did she mention anything about that?
She did, and I think that we'll have to do the physical handoff to her of the paper documents, and then the electronic ones, if I understand correctly, pretty much everybody but John McLaughlin has gathered those, and he may have too, I just don't know. But I think we just need to send those, we'll give them to those electronically, and then the box of papers, including the information on our safety deposit box. And we can just arrange for a time tonight when Nicole's here to deliver those to them.
The problem, I'm in contact with Evan about the paper documents, and I can give him a bunch of documents on a portable drive, which I may just do with all the emails and everything else, because nobody from IT has contacted me about how to transfer those documents. So I have no way to transfer them to the city unless I put it on a travel drive. And that includes the videos that run of our meetings. So anyway, I was trying to get a way to just transfer them over online, but it looks like because I can't get anybody
Well, Robin said,
from IT to contact me, I'll just have to do it on a portable drive.
yeah, Nicole said that she had talked with that person today, and that she would be able to share with us their plan when she was here this evening. So
Oh,
let's-
that's lovely. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that. I've been just a tiny bit frustrated.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It sounds very frustrating, and it sounds like she is perhaps as frustrated as you with IT. But we can turn that problem over. One of the things about celebrating the end of our illustrious organization is that we turn a lot of things over to other people, and it becomes their problem. That's the upside of this whole arrangement. So there are, I'm going to formally take the roll call. I don't know if John McLaughlin's going to join us, but I'm Frank James. I'm president. I'm here. John Hymas is here because I see him. Hugh Beatty is here because I see him, and Ed Grubline is here because I see him. And hopefully John McLaughlin will be able to join us. But if he doesn't, we'll have to make do without him. We've had a motion to approve the agenda that was seconded and passed. We have the minutes of September 13th here, and we'll need to review those, and those that were present can vote on approving them. People had a chance to look at the minutes of the 13th. Robin, were you going to say something?
I have one correction on the sorry, here, I just have to pull this up. On the dissolution resolution, I didn't actually put on there that it was approved 4-0. So I have changed that. And on the copy I just sent to you, it says they're all approved. And I went through and made sure all the motions where it actually shows that they were voted on and approved. So the most recent version I sent out should have that. If you have an older version, it won't have that.
Okay, let's see. And is that in, I'm just looking for the date of it.
That was in the packet I just sent at like 5:20 today.
I've got a 5:30 one from you, but I'm looking and I don't think I see on that the minutes from the 13th though.
The 13th is 2 pages stapled. I got them here.
Are they attached to that email from 5:30 p.m. today? You?
I don't know. I got the paper.
I just
so
sent him.
I don't have the email.
Just now?
Yes, I had left it off. I knew I was going to forget something.
Okay. Okay, if you would send those to us now, Robin, we can move down the agenda from that.
I did just send it.
Okay.
Might take a minute for it to come through. If you wanted, we could go to something else and come back.
Why don't we go ahead and go, because I at least don't see it yet. There it is. So at 6:17, it should be in your box. And if people
There-
want to open that and review it and see if it is. Now, is this the corrected one, Robin, with the vote recorded on it?
Yes,
Okay, 4-0, yeah, okay.
on page 2, under dissolution, it's the second
highlighted.
motion.
Yeah. And it's highlighted in yellow, right?
Yes.
Great. So people take a quick look at those minutes and see that if they're correct, or any additions, corrections, or deletions in addition to the correction that Robin has already made. If people had a chance to review them, I'd be open to a motion to accept the minutes as written, or if
I
you,
motion that we accept.
the motion to accept. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
So Grumbine and Hymus moved and seconded. Now, is there further discussion? All right, all those in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Counting hands, that's unanimous. So the minutes of the meeting
I,
are approved. Thank you. Moving on, there is a fair amount of other information to look at here. We did write and send the letter summarizing what we talked about. Ed took our list and crafted a letter. I modified it very little and shared that with Nicole and discussed that with her today. And she was accepting of it, enthusiastic about it, and but didn't make any commitments about actually doing all of it. But she found it all useful, and she was hoping to move some of it forward. We certainly talked about the water quality and the possibility of using Northwest Indian College. She said she was having discussions with them, and that was a friendly thing to have there. She also mentioned that there's going to be a voluntary effort to close down some of the social trails, and that she has decided to engage Recreation Northwest to do the leadership on that, and let me know that. And that was the extent. So she received and acknowledged the letter we sent her, and I believe all of you got a copy of it. Ed added a good deal of detail about the desirability of doing an amphibian study, and some additional information there, and also added a well thought out and summary of the invasive species issues, and asking that they address those. I added, Nicole was not aware of the issue about there's a fairly large area that has succumbed to bamboo invasion. And that's apparently very difficult to get rid of, as you may remember from our discussion with the folks at the Noxious Weed Board. So I let her know about that too, in addition to what was in the letter. That's really, I think, a point of information more than anything else, is that they did get our letter. That's what it covered. Yes, Hugh.
I hadn't heard before this came out about this orchid that they call an invasive orchid. And I always thought that they were good for the bees and the hummingbirds, because they provide nectar at a time of the year when things are sparse.
Ed, do you want to share with us your thoughts about that, or?
For me, it's pretty black and white. It's either a native species or it's a non-native species. Within non-native species, there are ones that are aggressive invaders, whatever their ecology or biology might be, with pollinators. and they need to be pulled up and removed. Otherwise, they'll take over the woods slowly but surely, maybe not even slowly. Stinky Bob is the classic example.
Yeah, it is a listed species too, right, in terms of not being native and being invasive.
Oh, well, there's no doubt that it's non-native. Yeah, sure. And Washington maintains a list of species of concern within the invasive category, and both there are different levels of concern. Both are listed. One is of more concern than another, but things change pretty rapidly. Last year, I saw very few orchids in the woods. This year, I pulled up over 200.
Oh, wow.
So it's making a move right now.
Yeah. And the report, as you'll all recall, when we got it from and had that meeting with them, was that there were things on the periphery, but the core portion of the woods were in good shape. I think that's still largely true, but both of these species have made significant advances in the past few years. And that
they're in the core, they're on the periphery. Yeah.
So there hopefully will be progress made on those issues, and hopefully they can use part of the funding that we have pulled together to do that. At this point, it's starting tomorrow. It's the city's issue and not ours, and we need to be active and good citizens to encourage proper stewardship. The press release on the conservation easement, I was hoping we'd review that one final time today, and the copy that Ed made some changes on, I think is one we'll start with, and we can do that as we move forward in the meeting today. If we want to take that up now would be a good time to do it. But there is a copy. We also got a report from the Washington State Auditor reviewing the documents. And Robin, you know this much better than I, but my understanding of what she said was that everything looks good, but they're not quite done yet.
That's basically it. That everything looked fine, everything looked in parameters. They reviewed a lot of stuff, like making sure that we complied with the Open Public Meetings Act. You know, that they didn't do an intensive financial audit, but they did look at to make sure that everything was aligned pretty much with everything else. And it lists all the categories on that in the document. Let's see. They examine dissolution of the district, accounts payable, open public meetings, and financial condition of the organization. And I think that was it. Yeah.
And there is some final process they have to engage in, Robin, to finalize it that they don't have time to do before we dissolve. Is that correct still?
I don't think there's much to do, just for them to see that things have actually been passed on and everything. And then they will send a report to everybody to their email addresses. So you'll get a copy of the final report. This report is not to be posted or anything. So I was going to put it on the website, but then I realized I can't. So we're not going to do that. And yeah. And I have one other thing after we're done talking about this.
Oh, well, let's, so just, I also shared those essential bits of information with Nicole, and since they're taking over the responsibility for they get all of our assets and liabilities, they'll be responsible for closing that and finalizing it, right?
Yeah, and Andy Asbornson is already listed on our account. You will see if you look in that report that you got that if there are any questions to contact him. I have told him if he has questions with something, he can always call me. So, but everything's pretty straightforward, so I don't see there being an issue for anything.
Great.
I just had a question for you when we're done with that. So
we're done.
We're done with that. Do you want to
just information? So I think, yeah.
Do you want to have a signed copy of that letter sent to Nicole? seems like that might be a good idea. I don't know.
Yeah,
If
I
you
think
sign
that-
it, I can just email it to her,
Yeah.
but,
that's a great idea. Yeah.
okay.
All right. I was just sending a copy of the press release to everybody, so it could be in your inbox. And I sent a copies to you, Barbara, and to Vince as well. The piece that I didn't know about the press release, if there was more planning that's been done with regard to the party, and I don't know if either Vince or Barbara have any. I think there's some interest in that organizing that. Is there any update on the actual date or when or any more details about the actual celebratory party?
As far as I know, nothing's happening until maybe some of us who are here and other people we can gather together, make it happen. The city of Bellingham is not doing a party.
Mhm.
I thought they were. Not, okay.
Evidently
I
not.
think they might have been confused with the Governor's Point thing or something, but they are not doing any sort of party. That's Nicole told me that personally.
Yeah.
The neighborhoods are probably going to throw the party, and they were waiting for us to dissolve before.
Yeah, so starting
Figured it
tomorrow,
out.
maybe we'll have some meetings about that.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds great. Well, then what it says in the
Yeah.
press release is perfect because that's what it says. Stay tuned. So if people
Can I
have, yeah, go ahead.
I had some suggestions. I don't know if you saw the thing I sent, but there were a couple of people that were left off the press release
Oh, no,
that I felt like should be on there.
or a billion people left off because you can't mention everybody, but I'm definitely open to any, but that's one of the things I wanted to ask tonight was there are many people left off. But if you start making lists, the challenge is where do you stop adding people?
Well, I was thinking we should at least have all the commissioners on there, like John Brown
Yeah.
and Susan Kahn. Those are the only two I suggested.
John Brown is on it, and Susan Kahn would be easy to add, but there are other commissioners as
And
well,
Kathy
right?
McKenzie,
Kathy
Kathy.
McKenzie is on it.
She's on it.
He's on it.
Yeah.
Kathy, Bob, I couldn't remember all the commissioners. I figured if we could do it all, we should probably do all. And if we're just doing
Right.
some, just do some. But if the desire is,
I got one I forgot, Ann Eisinger.
oh yeah, go, good thought. Yeah.
Name's on it, yeah.
I was just printing. I just printed it. Nico's asking what's going on. What's the noise?
Well, you would probably know, Vince, better than anybody, who the other commissioners are and if we should include them all. I think if we're gonna, once you start down this road, I just didn't know all the people that were
Yeah,
involved.
no, you said them all.
Right.
Susan Kahn, Kathy McKenzie, John Brown, and then and me, and then the current.
How do I spell Susan's last name?
Kaun.
Okay, she's added. And then there was one more.
John Brown,
He's already there, yeah.
Kathy McKenzie,
On there.
me.
And Vince, so you're on there.
There was one more.
Where am I?
Ann
About me.
Hugh, are you
Frank,
not there?
Ann Eisinger.
Oh, Ann Eisinger, yeah. Hugh, I forgot. Did I? No, you're there, Hugh.
Oh, where? Let me see.
You're after Venza and before Ed.
Okay. And you got Dan Pike somewhere?
oh, yeah. Yeah,
We're just talking
So you
about
had-
the commissioners, because I didn't actually know all the commissioners. I wasn't there 4 or 6 years ago.
yeah. Well, now we're done with the commissioners, but now it's just other, prominent supporters.
Oh, yeah. Ann Eisinger is, of course, a huge oversight, and I thought of her. I just didn't.
There's a typo with Jody Bergsma's name. It should be Bergsma. So an E instead of a U.
Of course, yeah. And then, and how do we spell Eisinger so that I get it right?
Eisinger. Singer with a EI. I guess, I mean.
So Eisinger.
Double S.
Yeah.
SS.
SS.
And it's Ann without an E?
That's right.
Yeah.
Any other additions?
Somebody mentioned Dan Pike, and that's a definite, because he's the one that went out on a limb.
Right. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dan Pike is there. Yeah, he's there.
All right.
He's between Bornemann and Zylstra. Not alphabetical.
Yeah, and then Christopher Granis.
He's there. Or no, Jerry was.
Dean and Dudley, Brad Rose, Jerry Wilbur, Jody Bergsma, Dana Lyons, Seth Fleetwood, I don't know, Christopher Granis, Chris Webb, Roy Whitehead, and Jack Dave Bricklin, Barbara Zylstra, Dan Pike, Terry Bornemann, Ann Eisinger. But there's a ton more people. I mean, I don't know where you stop.
Yeah, I don't know where you stop either, but that's a good starting point.
Yeah. And then you can't do this without talking about Joe Yaver and Bob Gibb and
I
Ronnie.
was going to say,
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was going to say, somebody said something about Bob there, and Bob actually championed the Park District idea.
He was the first person to
Right.
come up with it, I think, actually. Yeah.
No,
And
I
had a
told him
much
about.
grander vision than what we have. He
I
wanted.
told him about we worked on it down for Skagit, and it fell through there. But I
And
was on
Rand, speaking of that,
yeah.
also Rand Jack.
He's on there. Yeah.
Okay.
Rand is already there.
Robin Dupree.
Yep.
Yeah.
Robin's there.
Yeah.
And I think it's lowercase d u and then capital P R E,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. One of the things, first I was saying, no, you don't have to list everybody, just list the commissioners, but it's good for people to realize how many people were really involved for these decades to get this accomplished. So there is something good about, listing a lot of the people who've been involved.
Well, I think when we're planning the party, we'll maybe have a list of heroes or something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a
And
good,
make that a good long list.
yeah, right.
Some of you may not remember who Roy Whitehead was, but just to recall, he's the guy that is the president of the bank, the new bank that bought out the old bank.
Oh,
And it was
right.
really their willingness to
Yeah.
make a deal considerably below market rate that allowed this to happen. And he came to the large celebration we had. He was and he's running a multi-billion-dollar bank, and he showed up. That was a good thing.
Was.
It wouldn't have happened without him. That's why.
No. There were
I'd like-
certain key players that it wouldn't have happened without.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan Pike's another one. And the
Terry and Gene, Terry Bornemann and Gene Knutson were also absolutely.
very.
But again, we start talking about city council people. There's a long list.
And Jack Weiss.
Yeah.
Jack Weiss said, let's figure out a way to pay back the city
Yeah.
3.2 million.
Jack went both ways, though.
Yeah,
Too.
he's the one that pushed me into the idea of doing it with the vote, because he was pissing me off, always complaining about the north side getting the short end of things.
WEI. Is that right?
WEISS.
Yeah. I'll add him. He was very fond of, he was not always supportive, but he
Right.
certainly in the end made it.
Right.
I might throw in Bobby Vollendorf. She's Greenways from the start.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My cable connection is unstable.
Yeah, Bobby was a stalwart for many, many years. Somebody want to spell Vollendorf for me?
You got it?
Oh, gosh.
Vollendorf. Without looking it up, that's probably close to it.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote. So that's good. We both guessed the same.
We could proofread that list before it gets published.
Yeah, there's no rush in this. We can have time.
Oh, I found it on my phone. Vollendorff.
Oh,
FF.
double F.
One more
Wow,
F.
there you go. It's, could be a waste of a letter. Don't need two Fs.
Do we want to have a motion to approve the press release? Do we need that?
I don't think we need a motion. What I'll do is I'll send
Okay.
it out to everybody for final review and get input back, and then we can send it out. I don't know how the news cycles and the lack of serious reporting at the local level, I don't know who's going to pick it up, but I think we need to put it on our website, or we can't do that anymore either, right?
I'm
Well,
going to be putting stuff up there tonight and tomorrow. After that,
I think you could put it up on our website.
I think it would be good to do it. If you want
I was
me
gonna
to
say,
send
Ralph,
it out. Go ahead, Hugh.
Ralph Schwartz lives in our neighborhood. He has always been supportive of it, and he's writes for the Cascade Weekly. He's the head reporter there now. So just give it to him. He'll run with it. He'll write something. nice.
Cascadia Daily. Yeah,
Give it to somebody who's supportive at the Cascadia Daily.
yeah, not Julia.
Right.
Butchered that
Julia don't-
report.
Well, and
Oh, I see a typo.
radio stations, you know.
which
I don't,
paragraph?
On page 2, sorry, Barbara,
Oh,
the
that's-
work to protect 100-acre woods is not over. Get that S off of wood.
Oh, you're right. I thought I took them all off. That
Yeah.
was one.
Yep. You
Oh,
missed. I just wanted to be consistent.
Yep. No, absolutely. I thought I got them all. But thanks for the careful read.
All right, I'm trying to read.
Well, I'll send this current redacted version out to everybody, and if anybody has any additional comments, get them to me, and we'll get it into the document.
I would like to send it out by tomorrow. That's sort of my last day, though. I think there's going to be a couple of things that are going to drag on, but
yeah. It's just a press release. They don't sometimes print verbatim anyway. You know? So,
no, they don't.
Not nowadays. Yeah. Okay, I think that should be. I changed the date. This one's the 20th. The other one was the 18th. So just if you're looking for some way to get the right one, look for the 20th.
hey, Frank,
Yeah,
do we want to post the letter to Nicole on the website?
Yes,
we could.
I would
Sure.
like to see it.
Why not?
I'd like to see it too.
Yeah, I think that's great. It might encourage a bit more accountability, which is always good. I don't see Nicole here though. I mean, I just flipped through and she's not joined us yet. Let's go ahead and now, have people had a chance to review the document that we got from the Boise State Auditor with respect to our status? Everybody, I don't think, do we need to formally adopt that, do you think? Luke, what do you think? Do we need to adopt that letter? It isn't
Nope.
official, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
No, letter.
So we don't.
Just
No, I do not think we need to.
Okay, great. Thank you. And well, we're down to payroll. Motion to approve the following: the district payroll for Robin's long and hard work for us, 88.75 hours, with the adjusted gross at 2218.75, and the September hours 99 hours, 247500. For that, we'll need both a motion and a second.
I motion. to
I move.
Wait, now, does this cover tomorrow and everything that's petering past us? Maybe we should.
It needs to. This is the last chance we've got to account for this. This is the
Well,
last.
let's
Everything's included on there, John. So
Yeah, I talked with Robin about it, and we agreed that she would include everything in this. So I think this is all inclusive.
Okay, Robin. Thank you.
All right. And then let's just do this next piece, the payment for invoice 313 from Hartel Technical Service for September 13th.
we didn't move to approve my wages yet.
I was going to do them all together. The list in the minutes is we vote on both of them at once.
Usually we do it separately, and because I need to talk about the things and the bills, it might be better to separate the things out.
Sure. So do I hear a motion for approving Robin's?
I motion.
Move approved.
Ed, Hugh seconds. Any
Second.
discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Hey,
It's unanimous. Okay, and then the payment for the 9/19 invoice 313 from Hartel Technical Services, September 13th, $125, and September 20th, approximately $50 to $100. Which shall we make that? Robin, what's the issue there between 50 or 100?
Just a moment.
It says 75 and 125, so 200 all told.
We're figuring out the second bill right at the moment.
Great.
So the other one will be $87.50.
All right. So 125 plus 87.50 for both the last meeting and for this one. Do I hear a motion to approve that?
There's the two other invoices for me. And so I was gonna do one for the portable drives that I got today, but there were problems with getting it, and Carl had to run around and get more. So we're just going to leave that last thing off, and it's just going to be my mileage for the month of September for $31.37. There's a lot more miles this month because I ran around numerous times getting signatures and dropping things off and everything else.
I'm printing again.
Okay. So Robin, do you want to then take the Office Depot receipt for that? If it's not $25, what is it? for Office
I
Depot?
don't know, so we're just gonna take that off and we're not gonna approve the Office Depot receipt. And there is that money that you guys agreed to in the exhibit, so it'll probably be around 25, and then other things I have yet to, my folder with my receipts seemed to be buried in my files today, so I could not give you the final numbers, but I will send it out to you guys before I send it to the city.
Why don't,
It's,
Robin, if we could make a not to exceed number, we can just pass it now.
we already did that.
Yeah, you'll recall in the schedule we approved as a part of the resolution in the last meeting, there was one of the categories in that schedule was expenses for Robin. So that's been provided for there. I think the thought was if there were concrete expenses that we could approve tonight, great. But if not, we have that to fall back on.
Okay, so we'll simply take that item off. The 9/20/23 Office Depot thing is just taken off the agenda, and it'll be covered under that prior agreement, the not to exceed amount. Great.
Yes.
We didn't vote on the Hartel payment, if I understand correctly. Should we do that just to get it off the list?
Well, there are two invoices from Hartel. The one you haven't received yet, I'll send it to you after the meeting, but it's going to be there's one for 125 for the September 13th meeting, 87.50 for tonight, and then one invoice for mileage for me for $31.37. So those are the three bills for you to approve tonight.
Hey, Robin has just summarized them well. Do I hear a motion to approve those?
I do.
The total is 243.
Oh, so John
I
Hyman.
just totaled them up, 243.87. Sorry.
Pardon me? Hugh, was that you?
I just give you the total is 243.87 if you want the total to approve.
Yeah, but they're
That's
the
the-
two different people, so we need to reimburse them, and we need to, right? Okay, so one more run at this. So payments to Hartel are going to be tonight, the 125 plus the you said
87.50.
87.50. And is there more for Hartel?
No.
Great. Could we have a motion to approve the 87.50 and the 150 to 125 to Hartel?
I move.
John moves.
Second.
And seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye and raise your hand. Yeah.
Aye.
Looks like unanimous vote. Great. And then there's the part remaining for you, Robin. And what do we need to approve tonight?
Who just seconded that motion? I missed that.
Hugh.
I do.
Okay. Yeah, just my payment. You just need to sue for mileage for $31.37.
Great. So do I hear a motion?
I move.
Move approval.
John moved, Hugh seconded for mileage, $31. And how many cents?
37.
37 cents. Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
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 Okay. Passes unanimously. Now, Robin, is there anything we haven't had a motion to pay that we need to pay?
Nothing that we can do at this meeting. So we've covered everything we can in terms of that. Before we close the meeting, there were a couple of little notes I just wanted to say about the dissolution. Just that I think if we're ready for that.
I think we are. Do we want to call Nicole or just, I don't know that there's a lot of discussion with Nicole really, except for the IT stuff. It sounds like that's going to be back on me and you to wrestle Nicole about that. I think she may have the wrong person's name that's managing our online website. So we need to make sure she gets that. And I can call her tomorrow to clarify. And
I have sent it to her, and Evan knows about it and Andy knows about it, but we can send it to Nicole again. She actually mentioned him in one of her emails to me, so I think she knows, but
When I talked to her today, she told me she was going to pay Jim Hartel the money for the website, which I think is a misunderstanding. So it's not clear in her mind right now, I think. So if we could do that.
Okay, I will send her a note about that.
And I think that's the only other thing we had to approve or get straight about tonight. So I think we're ready to hear whatever else you want to have to say, Robin.
I just wanted to do a brief, it looks like everything is pulled together for the dissolution. Which, the audit's almost through. The money from the petty cash was deposited. The safety deposit box was closed. We did the resolution and the arrange for payments that will come in later to the Park District, which at this point I think are just going to be a few office expenses for me and Carmichael Clark. And because everything else is pretty much is done. All I have to do for the PO box is drop off the keys.
And in your judgment, Robin, then there's adequate funds in our contingency that we approved not to exceed to cover those costs?
Yep. More than enough. We won't go up to the limit on those at all. So like Luke said last meeting, we put enough money in there to make sure it wouldn't be a problem.
Okay. And the remainder goes to the city anyway, so that's fine.
And in terms of the records, I have most people's emails downloaded. Frank and I are going to meet tonight, and then John McLaughlin, I'll just have to do whenever he gets back. And the digital, I'm going to put all my digital records on a drive, and the paper records, and I'm going to either hand them over to Evan either on Friday, or if I go away for the weekend, and I will be gone till Tuesday, next Wednesday, but they will get to him. They're not going anywhere. So
when you talk to John, you might let him know that on Monday in the morning, the city council will be hearing the update on this tree coverage thing that he's been talking to them about for so long.
The tree heights
The update.
We sent a letter on, right? That John wrote?
The tree canopy program.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
there were serious.
They're going to discuss that on Monday at their.
Yeah, there's serious errors in the methodology they used in estimating the height and age of trees, and they've got a good letter. He provided them additional data. It would be good if they reviewed that. It's in their own best interest to review.
Did they ever respond to his letter?
They never responded to us that I know of. And it actually was his letter, but we sent it under our name. He drafted it for us.
So anyway, if somebody's around Monday, zoom into the council morning Parks and Recreation meeting and see what they're up to.
Well, here, I think Robin is going to send us an email to three of us, John Hymas, me, and Hugh Beatty, and we're going to respond that we actually agreed to these payments that we had today. So get those back to her as soon as you can. And then I just wanted to thank everybody on this call. There's a huge amount there's decades of work. And Robin's done decades of work just in a couple of years. So I think we should be incredibly proud of the work we've done. I think that we set an example really for many other communities to take things on and do incredibly difficult work. What we've done is incredibly difficult. I've got to say, Vince, the work that you've done was astounding in the early days, and really making this happen. Obviously, the work, the contributions. When you look at the list of the people that are no longer here, Joe Yabers and the James Luces and the Bob Gibbs and the Robin Dupreys and stuff. They have made a contribution that will last many, many, many years into the future. And I just wanted to just express my own gratitude for everybody that has participated. And Ed is our come lately but very working hard guy. And all the people like you, John Hymas, who've been there shoulder to shoulder with people from the beginning. So it's just a heartfelt thank you from everybody in the community that enjoys it. I walk up there almost every day and I see people loving it. And there's just going to be more loving. We just need to, maybe a few of them need to love it a little less.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to say that it's not just been a pleasure working with you all, but getting to know you all better too. Thanks a lot.
thank you, John. Anybody else like the floor for a minute?
Yeah,
This is it, folks.
No, Barbara Zylstra's got her hand up.
Barbara.
Yeah. Well, you said I wanted to take the time to thank all of the current commissioners, particularly. Have been more involved the last couple years in coming to meetings. And Ed, you were brought on as the closer and you did it. You know, we got it through. I learned a lot, particularly from John McLaughlin and his, you know, from the scientific point of view. So that has been really rewarding to me. But the numbers of people who have been committed to this, it's, you know, I was thinking as you were talking about it, it takes a village, it takes all of us to make it happen. And when you talk about loving the woods, people have to understand if you love the woods, how do you act when you're in there? What you do demonstrates whether you really love the woods or not. So I think we've got work to continue. It always will be, but you've done astounding work in getting us to this point, and to all of you.
Yeah. Okay, I do have one thing to say, and that is I really appreciate in this press release, I don't know if it's your words, Frank, or Ed's, but it is refreshing to see a mutual agreement. And that's how I feel right now. It's like not just relief and gratitude and happiness, but it's refreshing to see that we were able to come together with the city and the other land trust and people who maybe have not believed in the project or trusted us, you know, from the beginning, that it's refreshing that we were able to do it. So I'm really grateful.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you for all your hard work for so many years.
We pulled it off.
How about that, Rand?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How about that Rand Jack guy managed to pull off that Governor's Point swap
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Or not swap, but dedication or something.
Now that made the national news.
I got to sit
Yeah.
sit with him over the weekend when the kickoff.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, I just do have one more thing. Now that we're moving, well, closing out the park commission, or the park district, I'm really aware of the proposal for the Mud Bay cliffs and how that's going to impact the estuary and that whole hillside. I'm sure you're aware of it,
Yeah.
but
Actually, we responsible development, when they started their work, we gave them our 501c3 status as the heirs of responsible development. So they have that, and they have a number of other of the deep tools that we developed over 20 years of work. So I think maybe we can all lend our hand there as much as we can. That we're able. It is significant and very adverse development.
Yeah, I just look at it and I say, just like in the wetlands, there are some places we should not build. And when you look at those
Yeah.
cliffs and you look at the boulders that have fallen off of the cliffs and you say, oh, we're going to build up there? We're going to build up there? Anyway, just hope that the city will require an EIS, a SEPA. So,
Well,
Yeah.
you know, maybe they need a good lawyer.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
We can all get involved in that, of course. But I just think the other thing of note, the thank you we didn't say is to Wendy Harris, who has been involved in
yeah.
this stuff from the beginning, and as many as I think everybody here knows, she passed away recently, pulmonary condition, and
Oh my God, yeah.
she's
Frank, we should add her name to the list of early supporters, because she
do it.
used to call me as when I was a commissioner and say, what about this? And what, you know, she used to kind of bring things to my attention. I forgot about that.
Yeah. She was a bulldog. I mean, she didn't care about making people unhappy. She spoke her truth, and I gotta say, I admired
Yeah.
that. She actually ran the responsible. Until the day she died, she ran the responsible development Facebook page. She was still using it for good, and
Wow.
mention other things she did.
Yeah, we need to add her to that list.
Yeah, she was truly a citizen journalist of the highest caliber. I guess
There is, oh, sorry.
go ahead.
You have one more bit of business that you have to do tonight.
What's that?
And that is that I have sent you an email with a PDF of the minutes, which I realized I already have a change on, but that we need to approve those minutes for tonight, because this is the only time we're going to have to do that. So
Thank you, Robin, in your inimitable and thoughtful way. You are ahead of us all yet again. So at 6:57, Robin sent us minutes. If you could click those open and take a quick look. And when you've had a quick look, somebody can move and we can second and we can pass the minutes.
the general public comments, I should have erased that section because there just wasn't time to write anything in there, and I forgot to do that. So that will not be in the final minutes. If people want to hear the good things we have to say, they have to listen to the board recording.
And if anybody wants to make any 3-minute comments, we're open to that.
Yes.
We're good.
Thank you, Vincent and Barbara, for showing up so many times. Thank you. Any other thoughts about those minutes?
Is everybody able to open them?
Yeah.
You able to
It
open
hasn't come to me. I just got Frank James press release is the last thing that came in.
There should have been one that came in. I got it. It was sent at 6:57 from Robin Albro. So look for that.
Yeah, I have you on there, Hugh. It was sent to you, was sent to John Hymas. John Hymas, it might be in your social file because that's where I put everything today. So if you
went to
I
your.
could also put it on the, do you want me to just put it on the screen? I could share it on the screen too.
Why don't
Why
you?
don't I do
If you
that?
haven't got it, then that would do it.
It'd be easier than the R. I can't read the R.
Okay.
Resolution.
I'm just going to go down to the important things. I'm going to take off this one part that we're not going to have.
Well, we need to have that though, I think. Would you put that back?
The public comments.
Yeah.
I don't have time to type up everybody's public comments right now.
You don't need to. Actually, the minutes simply, they should reflect that we had a public comment period.
Okay. I will put that back in.
Yeah, it doesn't have, you don't have to say what anybody said. Received.
Yeah, received.
You don't need to write it. You can say Vince Vacunas and
Barbara.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, period. You know, that's okay. Made comments. If you want to do it. Great. Uh-oh, it went away. Okay.
Did we lose Robin, perhaps?
No, Robin's gone. And Richard too.
It's funny that we're still. It looked fine to me, and does any and the financial thing look accurate? So I guess we.
Sorry, everybody. We had the internet go down in Frank's office.
Ah,
We have everybody but Frank.
So,
Did you guys have a chance to read the minutes? while we were out? I can put them up
no, it
again.
never came to me.
I'll put them up again.
I was reading them, but then the screen went blank.
Yeah, we lost our internet.
ah.
When you're ready to go to the next page, Hugh, let me know. Or anybody else.
I'm ready.
Ready.
Okay.
All right. Looks okay.
I move to approve.
I second.
I'll second that. Who's running? Oh, we got to wait for Frank, huh? Or are you running it, John?
Well,
I think this is
Yeah.
Frank coming in right now.
Yeah.
Yay, yeah. Is everybody here?
Yeah.
we're back.
So any other thoughts about modifications of the minutes written for today's meeting? So it looks like John Hymas moved and
Ed,
Yeah,
so
that's correct.
that's the motion. I'm for it too, so voting unanimously, this looks.
We hadn't voted yet.
Oh, you did? Okay. All those in favor of approving these minutes, raise your right hand and say aye.
aye.
Yay. Okay. Remember, you're going to get an email. We still need to send it back to Robin. The three of us that get that. Any other comments or questions?
That's going to be Frank, John, and Hugh, and I'm going to send it out tonight. I'll send it out right after the meeting. So it'll be out in like 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Robin, you are a rock star. Thank you so much for getting us through not only the easy times, but also all these difficult times. Thank you so much. You work so hard. I can't say enough gratitude for you. Thank you.
I want to thank all of you guys for everything. It's been a pleasure working with you all. And I want to do a special shout out to Luke to helping me through all the complicated things in the last couple of weeks. And I have to say thank you to my husband because he's been running around for me all week. So anyway, it's been great to work with you guys.
Our pleasure. Well, if anybody has anything to say, now's the time to say it. Otherwise, I'll.
So meeting's over, right? Or adjourned?
You know what? I will adjourn the meeting at 7:16, the final meeting of the Chuckanut Community Forest Park Board.
Resolved.
Thanks,
Now that we're
everybody.
dissolved.